Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Corporate Gamer podcast. I'm your host, Corporate Gamer. This podcast is recorded on March 5th, 2017. Will you switch? And we'll get to that in a little bit, what that means specifically. Before we get started with the news of the week, just wanted to tell you about what I did in last week. Basically, work was pretty intense for the most part, so I didn't get to play a lot of games. A lot of the games that I played were pretty retro in terms of nothing new. Played some ice hockey on NES, which is pretty old. I didn't remember how difficult it could be. There's actually some kind of strategy to the game, but it's fun. And the music is actually pretty good. I forgot how good the music is in that game as well. I played my go-to game, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Did not beat Mike Tyson once again, but the game itself is still fun. And I got to play that during the week. On the Xbox, I downloaded Borderlands 2. It was a free game. That was available, and I downloaded. I didn't have a chance to play yet. I did like Borderlands 1, the original Borderlands, and we'll see if we'll see how good it is. Probably we'll do a review. I'll do a review on that a little bit later. In the week. Other than that, I actually at one point this weekend I actually went in one of my old boxes, and I was cleaning out the storage room, and I noticed that there was a box with a bunch of stuff in it, and I went through it, and I found one of my old books, and I don't know if you guys would remember this, at least the ones that went to school here in Montreal. Every so often we used to have this book club where we could order books. I think back in the day it was either called the Scholastic or Troll. I don't even know if they still exist today. But I remember one of the things that I used to order the most, and I used to look forward to, was always the cheat books, and so I can get cheats to different games. I always like playing with cheats. I know I suck, but I used to actually love the different cheats, and to me it was kind of a bit of a hack, and I used to like it, right? And that's why I have the Game Genie as well for the NES, and so on and so forth. And I actually found one of my books, How to Win a Nintendo Games, by Jeff Rovin. It's actually pretty sweet because it's in bad shape because I did use it a lot. I didn't use it for all the games, but I did use it for specifically Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and a few others. Ninja Gaiden as well. The Tricks of the Trade and so on and so forth. So we used to order those every 2-3 months, and I used to love those, and I used to go see my parents and ask them for this, and they always looked at me with these big eyes because I don't think they actually liked the fact that I was getting cheat codes, unlike real books that you could actually read full, chapters and and sentences. But yeah, I still have those, and there's a few others that I wish that I could find because they were really. There was one that was really really cool. It was it was plastified. It was like in plastic. It wasn't paper. It was like those plastic type pages, and I remember using that one. I used it a lot, and I think it's because I used it for Mario Brothers a lot, Mario's 1 and 2. And it was it was pretty intense back then. Now with the internet, I guess those books are not really needed anymore, but I'm old enough to remember that there was an internet at one point, and that used to be my internet. Just wanted to share that story with you guys, and I found it pretty cool that I was able to find it after all these years. I'm pretty sure I bought those at the beginning of the 90s, so I probably bought it at around 1991 or 1992, maybe even before that. I don't know. That's 20 years. over 25 years. So yeah, that's it. That's all for what I did in the last week. So let's jump in into some of the news of the week. Obviously, I couldn't not talk about this. March 3rd was the great release of the Nintendo Switch, and also simultaneously the Zelda Breath of the Wild game. That was a day one launch. The good news is everybody that I know that wanted one actually was able to get one. So it means that there is stock in the stores. The one I've read online that some Amazon orders weren't able to be fulfilled on day one. They weren't even shipped on Friday. I don't know how that's going to work out, but they're going to be a few days late, so I'm sure that's disappointing for certain players that really wanted to play the Nintendo Switch out of the gate. I looked at a bunch of different reviews online because I didn't get one myself. If I do get one, I'll probably get one. I've said this before. I'll probably get one at Christmas when Mario comes out. But until then, for me, it's not really worth it. And the reviews out there, other than Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is getting amazing reviews, and I'm sure that it's really, really fun. I'm not sure that it's enough for me to buy a whole system, at least for $350. It's a little steep of a price. Plus, if I buy Breath of the Wild, I'll probably want to buy the season pass. That's going to cost even more, and it's just something that I can't really justify paying for. Primarily, I will have to justify with my wife that price tag. But yeah, if maybe at a later time, maybe when the price goes down, I'm hoping maybe at Christmas they'll shave maybe $50 off of that, or maybe even throw in a game. If it's $350 and they throw in like Breath of the Wild, or they throw in another game, maybe I'd be curious. However, for now, sorry for that. But for now, it's not something I'm going to buy. However, I looked at different reviews, and it's pretty much in line with what I would have thought would have been day one, a Nintendo Switch day one release. The hardware has a lot of potential. It can maybe do great things. However, it's not there yet. And unfortunately, a lot of different sites have judged it maybe harshly on day one, because let's be honest, every cycle of Xbox or PlayStation, the initial release, it's very rarely amazing on day one. Best example is the Xbox One. When it was released, it wasn't a big bang. It wasn't, it actually fell well short of the PlayStation 4. But with the time, there were releases, and updates, and it's improved a lot over the time. And the same thing with PlayStation 4. So I have a feeling that I know there is actually a day one patch for the Nintendo Switch, but I'm pretty sure that they will improve over time. It's a little lackluster, but then again, they're getting people to buy Breath of the Wild. They're getting people to buy Breath of the Wild, and because of that, they're buying a Nintendo Switch. The reason why that strategy probably works is there's a lot of people that didn't get the Wii U, and those that probably got the Wii U would probably maybe wait, but the ones that didn't, what's the point of waiting? You might as well buy it. You're in there for the long haul, and that's how it's going to be. For me, it's just not something that I can justify right now. I'm kind of happy with my Xbox One. It does exactly what I want it to do. I can watch YouTube. I can rent movies. I can, and it's in HD quality. I know that's not what the Switch is going for. You can't compare the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch in the same breath. And the reason for that is that it's not the same type of system. It's not made to be an entertainment system. What I find disappointing is that in the previous iterations of Nintendo's consoles, the Wii and the Wii U, there were at least a couple of apps that were available, like Netflix and so on and so forth. And to my knowledge, that's not going to be available on day one. So I'm hoping that that's something that's going to be available at one point, but it's not available on day one. So a couple of my buddies are actually getting the Nintendo Switch, so I'm going to wait and play around with it a bit when I go over to their place and see how it is and how I like it. I can't actually do a review until I actually see it. I have my own opinions on it, but if you don't, I can't critique it until I actually try it for myself. So yeah, Nintendo Switch. It's a review. I think it's gonna be a good one, but only time will tell. And I know that it's gonna be selling like hotcakes. So, that's it for that. Second news item of the week. Microsoft has announced Netflix type service for games. Apparently this will be one of those type of subscription services where you'll be able to play about 100 titles when it actually launches in the spring. And I'm actually quoting this from cbc.ca. Xbox Game Pass will offer a rotating selection of Xbox One games, as well as games from its previous system, the Xbox 360. For a monthly fee of $11.99, it will be available on both the Xbox One console and Windows 10 PCs. In addition to the Xbox Gold, you're going to be expected to buy a subscription for about $12 a month, which sounds great. But I already get 3 free games a month on my Xbox Gold. Yes, I don't have access to all the systems on the spur of the moment. However, I play enough games, but I don't have enough time to play all the games. So, unless they're getting rid of the Xbox Gold games, I'm not sure how good this is going to be. However, since this is also on Windows 10 PCs, it'll actually be cool if, there could be cross-platform. So you can play Halo 5 and so on and so forth. I didn't hear of too many games that are available on launch. However, it seems that Halo 5 Guardians, Mad Max, NBA 2K16, and Soul Calibur 2 will be available, which is nothing to sneeze at. It's actually pretty cool. So I guess on day one there's going to be 100 titles, and it's going to grow as it goes along, a bit like Netflix. My question is, I wonder if there's going to be licensing issues, and we're going to have the same issues in terms of licenses, like for Canada and for the US and so on and so forth. So this reminds me a little bit of OnLive in the sense that I'm not sure if you're going to download the game or not, and how it's going to work specifically. But if the players prefer, this is part of the article, if the players prefer to cancel their subscription but keep some of the games afterward, they can buy the games potentially 20% discount. So you can download them. They're temporary, and then if you want to cancel your subscription, you actually have the option of buying them. At the end of the day, this is for older games. I guess it kind of replaces video store rentals, where they used to have, you're able to rent games. Like here in Montreal, you have Videotron and those areas. I guess if you just want to pick up a game and play, I guess it's pretty good. I'm assuming you still need a gold subscription. So right now, my gold subscription, even if I buy my card at Costco and have it at cheaper price, I'm still dishing out $12 more than what I'm normally paying, which I'm not sure if I'm ready for. I guess like anything else, I'm going to wait for the platform to be mature, and then we'll see, and we'll take a gander and see if it's actually worth it, or if there's a free trial, which I'm not sure there is. Will well, maybe I'll try it at that point. So that's it. So yeah, Netflix type of service called Xbox Game Pass. It's supposed to be released this spring, but there's no date as of yet. Next, I've seen this quite a few times now online, where people are talking about binge streaming, playing games, and those people that stream for 10, 12, 14, 16 hours straight. A lot of, I think there's a guy that died not too long ago. He was streaming for like 18 hours and he died. Another one got really ill after streaming 12 hours or 10, 12 hours. And right now there's the article in particular that I was reading was that, a 16-hour video game binge almost ruined Calgary teen's life. And now I think he's trying to help other people with addiction. Let's be honest here. There's a little bit of common sense that has come into playing games. You can't sit on your butt for long periods of time and expect to be healthy. You kind of have to move ever so often. Even for me, that loves playing video games, after a couple of hours, I'm just like done. And that's when I'm immersed into a game that I'm really, really addicted to, and I'm really into it. After a couple of hours, my brain just doesn't register anymore, and I just can't move forward. It's just one of those things where I don't know how people do it. I've seen people on Twitch, they stream for long periods of time. If you're going to do a marathon, or you're going to do a charitable, stream, which a lot of people do, and it's for a great cause, you can't do it alone. You have to have a team, or at least 3-4 people where you rotate. You can't just stream nonstop and just hope for the best. It just doesn't work that way. There's a reason why our parents used to tell us not to get off the video game console ever so often, go outside and play. It's one of those things where, I stream for, my average streams are usually about an hour, half an hour to an hour. And that's about it. I know that, to get a lot of viewers, you have to stream like 3, 4, 5 hours. But you know what? That's fine. That's just not me. I just can't stream for that long. And I have to move. I don't care if it's, doing laundry, running on the treadmill, doing some bike. I have to do something. I can't stream for long periods of time. And I just find it mind-boggling to me that, people just don't just do it for so long. I think I remember even at one point there was a Korean couple that was playing either StarCraft or something like that, and they played so long they forgot that they forgot to feed their kid, and the kid died. I don't know what ended up happening. I don't know if they were charged with murder or not, or negligence. I kind of don't remember at this point, but like everything else in life, you have to kind of moderate everything. Everything has to be in moderation. You can't just binge everything. A drink once in a while is great when you're with friends and so on and so forth, but you don't drink, a case of 24 every day. That's not good for you. Same thing with red meat. Same thing with, I don't know, playing hockey. Even for me, hockey players, I think they play way too much. The pressure is so high, and the standard of play is so high that 82 games is way too much. Playing 3-4 games a week is pretty intense. So everything in moderation. So you know what? I don't know if I'm preaching to a choir or if some of you actually do it. And if you guys actually do stream for long periods of time, let me know, how do you do it? How are you able to maintain that level of alertness for that long? So just let me know in the comments. Let me know on on my Twitter or on Facebook. And next story on the list: Shadow of War, which is the sequel to Shadow of Mordor. So this is going to be released. It's the sequel to 2014's Shadow of Mordor. It will be released on August 22nd in North America and August 25th in Europe. A lot of people loved Shadow of Mordor. And it was, I never actually, I played a bit of it, but I didn't play too much of it. It's one of those games where I had to be way too invested in it, and I just didn't have the time. But it's, nothing, it doesn't stop it from being a good game. It's going to be available for the PS4 and for the Xbox One, and apparently Project Scorpio, Steam, Windows 10, and it will be an Xbox Play Anywhere title, which is pretty sweet. Players would the game will expand on the version of Nemesis system, and I'm assuming the game is going to be roughly around $60, $70, $80, like a standard. So Shadow of War officially announced. Next on the list, this week on roundtable.ca, I released I wrote an article, The Lost Art. Basically, it's documenting how, when I was a kid, when we would buy games, because the games at home or on a console were usually subpar compared to what was in the arcade. And one of the reasons why we would pick a game was the cover art of these games. And if you're a fan of my or you're subscribed to my Facebook page, you'll notice that I often put cover art. Let it be from the Xbox One, Xbox 360, all the way to television, the Odyssey, and so on and so forth. I just find that it's interesting how cover art hasn't evolved with the time. And one of the main reasons that it's really important is Atari. Atari art was always something that piqued your imagination. And even if the game was not as good as it should have been, at least you're able to get that imagination going. Nowadays, I'll be honest with you, most of the games that come out, I don't know what the cover art is, because usually it's a digital download. You can kind of remember this, but it's not something that's etched in your brain. To me, older games are like, cover art is like, a cover art for music. When you buy, Led Zepp 4 or, Iron Maiden or any type of cover of an album, you kind of remember it, and it's etched in your mind, and you kind of know what it is. Whereas, and the cover art for Nintendo was the same, and Atari had its own style. It was usually the semi-realistic type of kind of look. And you always wished, and I wish one day they would come up with like that type of cover art. Nintendo decided to go a little bit on the other side, cartoony side, which is fine. Most of the Nintendo licensed game, at least at the beginning, were all pixelated, 8-bit type of, so Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, Wild Gunman, and so on and so forth. It was kind of those 8-bit kind of pictures, and you know what? I bought a lot of games based on the cover art, and it used to pull me in. Times have changed, but I think it's still something, even to this day, there's people that come out with games that are, that have like old school cover art. So they'll have like Halo, and they'll Photoshop it into like an Atari type of look. Same thing for Mass Effect and The Sims and so on and so forth. There's a whole slew of old school type of cover art. And yeah, so that's the article that I wrote this week. Check it out. It's on aroundtable.ca. Last story of the week. Speaking of the Switch, I don't know how this started. To be quite honest, it's kind of troubling. I saw this one random article and I didn't think much of it. And then apparently it's a thing to actually, I don't know, eat cartridges, Nintendo Switch cartridges, and why they taste so bad. Like, wow. One of the tweets that went out, I apparently it's doing these things online. I just don't understand it, to be quite honest. I put that Switch cart in my mouth, and I'm not sure what those things are made of, but I can still taste it. Do not try this at home. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is normal behavior not to actually do that. Not sure what makes it attractive to eat. It's not a fruit. It's not steak. It's not regular food. I don't taste my NES cartridges, nor do I eat my Xbox One games. I don't know why this is popular, and it's not the first time that I read this. There's people that made videos on YouTube. I saw, I think it was Easy Allies that had an article or had a video on it. I just don't understand, why is this popular. Please do not do this at home. I can pretty much I can pretty much safely say that it's not safe for you to actually eat this. I don't know. It was just one of those stupid stories. It's not really like hardcore game related, but again, it falls under the common sense column, which I don't understand. I don't know. I would never have thought of doing this, but apparently it's a thing. So yeah, that was the last story of the week. I hope all you guys have a great week. You can reach me on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/corporategamer9. I actually switched my username, so I think I spoke about it last week. You can also like my Facebook page at facebook.com/corporategamer. My Twitter handle is corporategamer9. My YouTube channel is 123corporate. And to look at all my most recent reviews, http aroundtable.ca. So, yeah, guys, have a great week, and I'll get back to you next week. All right, ciao.